Something I hold near and dear to my heart is judging other people that judge things, right? I think I hold that very near and dear to my heart. Judgment of the judgers is something I enjoy doing. Yeah. At ESPN, they judge the NFL every single week, make a top 10 power ranking. That came out this morning. Now it's time to go through it, to decipher what they were thinking and how they're feeling, and if they're completely wrong or not. Do these people know their ass better than a hole in the ground? Number 10, Houston. They don't. They lost by 100. Now, granted, if they play Thursday night and beat the Colts, then you could put them in there. But they just lost by 100 to the Ravens. And yes, the Ravens are playing at a different speed than everybody else. They are playing a different game of football than everybody else. But come on, guys. The Colts just got their MVP quarterback back. What happens when the Colts beat Houston in Houston on Thursday night with Jacoby Brissett healthy and back? If T.Y. Hilton's playing, Houston, we have a problem. That has not been confirmed, but they got Houston at 10. I like the way Houston plays football. I like Deshaun Watson. I like all that stuff, but they're not going to win the AFC South. Colts are going to win the AFC South. Jacoby's back.
Thank you.
Number 9, the Dallas Cowboys. Obligatory Dallas Cowboy talk. Dak Prescott leads the NFL in offense going into Week 12. Dak Prescott is a guy who's been having to look over his shoulder at all times of whether or not a new contract's coming. Dak Prescott's a guy who could sign for $150 million at any given week. Potentially thought it was going to happen earlier in the season. Potentially thought it was going to happen in the bye week. Now we're post that. People are saying maybe a franchise tag is going to happen. It doesn't matter. He's been balling out as a 4th-round draft pick for a while now. That defense gave up a lot of points to the Detroit Lions that were led by Jeff Driscoll. Is that going to be their weakness? They're highly touted. Rod Marinelli, Richard defense, I believe is his name, with a K, K-R-I-S. He's the guy doing play calling. Sorry, I got that wrong if I did. It's Rod Marinelli still cooking back there. That highly touted, very fast defense that can fly sideline to sideline. Sean Lee, all-pro, is a backup on that defense. Are they going to be able to keep up? If Dak Prescott can continue to score a lot of points, is Jeff Driscoll an anomaly situation, or is this going to be the regular for the Dallas Cowboys? We're going to find that out. They got a big game this weekend against a team that has won a lot of games for a long time. Going to learn a lot about the Dallas Cowboys. Number 8, Kansas City Chiefs. Lost Tyreek Hill potentially last night. Randy Moss called it in the pregame. He said, watch them hamstrings tonight. First quarter, Tyreek Hill pulls a hamstring. Altitude and hydration go hand in hand is what Randy Moss said. How long will Tyreek Hill be out? You saw that offense without Tyreek Hill earlier in the year. Yes, they found a new guy in Hardman. Yes, they have weapons on top of weapons. Tyreek Hill is dynamic, though. Going into the playoffs, going into late season, Patrick Mahomes would obviously love to have Tyreek Hill on the football field. Patrick Mahomes is running around pretty well, by the way, for a guy that dislocated his kneecap just a few weeks ago. LaShawn McCoy had a load management week off last week, scored the first touchdown last night. Travis Kelce, always going to be good, but can that defense, who looked good last night, Tyrann Mathieu almost had 2 picks, had 1 for sure. Will they be able to withstand and keep it up as they go forward? Maybe, possibly. Excited for the Kansas City Chiefs, who have lost games that nobody thought they would lose, including to the Colts, and they now are going to get back on the winning side of things. Let's see how they do. Number 7, the Minnesota Vikings. We got Kyle Rudolph joining us in 12 minutes. We'll talk to him about what happened in that locker room. Talked to Dalvin Cook last week about they had a kumbaya after the public outcry by Adam Thielen. Stephon Diggs misses a practice. The Kirk Cousins show gets 1 million downloads. All these things happen this one week, and their offense since then has been unstoppable. Zimmer's going to have a good defense. You know that, even if they're down some games. Let's see what the Vikings can do the rest of the year. And primetime Kirk Cousins is the only guy that shows up now. Wins in Jerry World, decides not to play the first 3 quarter of an earlier scheduled game, shows up in the 4th down like 20, gets him a big win. That's good wherewithal. That's good grit. Welcome back, Kirk Cousins. We'll talk to Big Country here soon. Number 6, New Orleans Saints. Talked to Demario Davis. He said that team, they feel as if they have to be able to keep up with what the offense has been able to do. They want to step it up. Big-time turnovers last week against the Buccaneers. Have the Saints found something in Latavius Murray as well, with obviously Alvin Kamara cooking. Drew Brees is back. Offensive line's doing well. They lost to the Falcons, which was deemed the Falcons' Super Bowl. What's going to happen with the Saints? Drew Brees always feels like he's in every single game, as do I watching it. Sean Payton also had Jordan 1 lows on, white and gold, during the game. Mm-hmm. Those hurt your pinky toe a little bit because of the stiffness, but those are swagged out. Good for Sean Payton. Number 5, the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Jones, potential MVP candidate that nobody's talking about. Devontae Adams is back and taking shots at commentators on the internet, which I find very hilarious. Matt LaFleur and the boys brought in a lot of money on the defensive side of the ball. Feels like it's paying off, and Aaron Rodgers is about to flourish in that offense as we get down the stretch. I like the Green Bay Packers a lot. Not only because Aaron Rodgers is a personal friend of mine, but because the way they've been playing football has been one that's smart, efficient, and electric. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to be the guy that carries the entire city of Green Bay every single week. They got other options, including Aaron Jones. Number 4, Seattle. Russell Wilson, obviously good at football. They're going to do well. Number 3, San Francisco. Did they get exposed? Or is San Francisco going to be the team that has been dominant on the defensive side of the ball and the offense keeps it moving through the playoffs here? They're obviously going to make the playoffs. They started out red hot. They didn't really play anybody. Then they played somebody and they looked damn good, but couldn't get the win against Russell Wilson. What will the 49ers legacy be this year? Kyle Shanahan, big brain, that whole team. Let's see what they get going. They're ranked at number 3. Number 2, the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson. The anomaly. The unicorn. The incomparable offensive weapon right now that Harbaugh has built a team around to utilize his assets to the tenfold. 3 tight ends. So they're just more offensive line, big bodies in there. Good protection. The D-line has no clue what to do. Do we try to stop the run? We talked to Kyle Williams. Do you try to stop the run? Well, then there's no pressure on the quarterback, so he can sit back and make passes in the buckets that he's been throwing. And then if you try to get pressure on the passer, okay, that opens up lanes, and he's out and gone. If you bring a blitz, they got numerous tight ends to just dump it off to. It seems like it is, and Orlovsky says it's indefensible right now. Let's assume somebody figures it out, but damn, it doesn't. I hope not, because it's a lot of fun to watch. Number 2 team in the NFL, Baltimore Ravens. And number 1, they say, the New England Patriots. New England Patriots are 9-1. They lost to the Baltimore Ravens. The defense has been carrying them. Bill Belichick's big brain has been working well, but the offense hasn't figured it out yet. We all assume they'll figure it out. Let's assume the squirrel, Julian Edelman, and handsome Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels get on the same page and get things cooking. New offensive line seems to be a problem. Tom Brady looked a little bit rattled against the Eagles, and they still got to win. You have to keep them at top until they're not. The only problem I have with this is you don't have the Indianapolis Colts in the top 10, which will happen after Thursday night's victory against the Houston Texans in Houston.
You want to guess where they're at?
13, 12.
Exactly 13.
They're at 13. Mm-hmm. Good for me. I didn't see the rest
Bills
of
and Rams ahead of them.
Rams.
The Rams are ahead of the Indianapolis Colts?
Come on.
Come on!
Jeez.
I felt like everything was going too well in this top 10. I felt like they were potentially right. The Rams above the Indianapolis Colts? No Todd Gurley, they're about to give him the ball more. They're going to have to. I'm taking Jacoby Brissett in the Indianapolis Colts over the Rams 10 times out of 10. In your yard, our yard, your street, our street, the driveway.
Car.
Game on. I'm taking it 10 times out of 10. I don't like that. But Thursday night, let's assume the Colts shock the world on Thursday night in H-Town, Texas.
No problem.